You ever notice how a simple knock on your door can change your life? No, really, sometimes it's a Girl Scout with cookies, sometimes it's a neighbor needing sugar, but once in a blue moon, it's the beginning of a war you never signed up for. That's what happened to me. Picture this, a sleepy little beach town, my ramshackle cottage perched just shy of the dunes, sun just peeking through the blinds, and I'm thinking my only real problem is whether I want a third cup of coffee. Yeah, that's when she showed up. Knock knock. Way too polite, like the sound itself is judging you for existing in your own home. I open the door and there she is, power suit, clipboard welded to her palm, hair shellacked into something between a helmet and a weapon, and a smile that says, "I've come for your soul, but I'll take your lawn if that's all you've got." "Mr. Mason?" she chirps, like she's confirming I'm the lucky winner of a sweepstakes I never entered. Karen Bates, newly elected president of Shoreview Haven HOA. Of course, right? There's always a Karen, and if you don't know one, you are one. She steps inside before I can say a thing, hands me a shiny folder, the kind that smells of toner and bad news. Inside, event schedule, Regional HOA Summit, Shoreview Haven Chapter. She says they're hosting a coastal summit, planners, consultants, the whole circus, 30, maybe 40 guests. I nod along, still wondering if I'm supposed to clap or just stand here like a potted plant. My place isn't even part of Shoreview Haven. That's why I bought it. No rules, no nosy neighbors, just sand, surf, and solitude. But here's Karen, all sunshine and forced cheer. "Your property is ideally located. Between the boardwalk and the private marina," she says, like I should be flattered. "We were wondering if you'd let the HOA use your cottage for a few guests next weekend. Just for the summit. Just for the weekend." I almost snorted my coffee right there. "You want the keys to my house?" She laughs, all rehearsed. "Oh, you wouldn't even know we were here. Professionally cleaned, before and after." I shut that down, politely but firmly. "Not interested. This isn't a rental. It's my home." That's when her smile wobbled, just a hair. "Think of it as a community contribution." "Lady, I'm not even in your community." But she pressed on, something about harmony, visual consistency, blah blah blah. Then the threat, soft as a snake sliding through grass. I'd hate to think one holdout might throw off the whole initiative. And there it is, the first shot fired. I told her no again and shut the door, but her perfume, something that smelled like litigation and regret, hung in the air. Next morning, footprints in the sand outside my back door. One set, not mine. Could have been a beach walker, sure, but I've lived with my gut long enough to trust it. That night, I installed a trail cam above the patio light. Just a little insurance. Used to do forensic work for insurance companies, so trust me, I know where people think you're not looking. Monday I get a letter. No return address. Inside, an HOA flyer thanking all participating properties. My name and address in bold under confirmed participants. You've got to be kidding me. I call the number on the flyer, voicemail. No reply. Later that night, more prints in the sand, this time 2 sets, circling the cottage. My skin crawled. I knew I was being scoped out, and I sure as hell wasn't going to make it easy. By Wednesday, the camera earned its keep. 2:17 a.m., my phone pings. I'm awake, old habits die hard. The feed shows a guy in a jacket marked HOA trying to jimmy the lock with a key that doesn't fit. He tries, fails, then out comes a bump key. Behind him, Karen herself. Couldn't mistake that helmet hair even in night vision. Eyes darting, watching the road. They give up, fade into the mist. I don't call the cops. Not yet. I want them comfortable. Stupid. Let them make a mistake. Next day, I go full paranoid. New deadbolt, tamper sensor wired to a siren, 2 more hidden cameras. One in the hallway light, one watching the entry. That evening, a hand-delivered envelope. Participation confirmation. My cottage now officially, overflow guest housing, per verbal agreement. My name, my signature, but not really. It's a tracing, sloppy, lifted from an old insurance document. My anger didn't boil. It froze, sharp and methodical. I documented everything, scanned the letter, photographed the envelope for prints, called an old friend at the DA's office, just hypothetically. "Forgery, fraud, attempted theft, maybe trespass," he said. "Why?" "No reason." "Sure." That night I wait up. The siren finally wails at 1:56 a.m. On camera, HOA jacket man inside my hallway, Karen behind, waving that fake agreement like it's a subpoena. The siren hits, they freak, bolt for the door, gone like raccoons caught in the trash. I save the footage, back it up twice, and start writing. Time for my own paperwork. 9 a.m., 2 cop SUVs outside. But they're not here for me. They're here because Karen called them, reporting unauthorized use of force and potential entrapment. She's out front, neck brace, clipboard, makeup bruising, limp, the whole drama. I was invited by Mr. Mason, she declares. Instead, I was assaulted by an illegal security trap. The young officer looks confused. So you had permission? Absolutely, she says, waving the forged doc. We have it in writing. I grit my teeth. You mean the forged agreement? The sergeant asks if I have evidence. Come on in, I say, trying not to laugh. I show them the footage, the break-in, the failed key, Karen's cameo. Timestamps, receipts, the lock change. Then the physical letter and the original signature for comparison. The forgery's obvious. The cop's eyes go wide. Karen doubles down. He lured us in. The siren was designed to injure. So you've used the key before? The sergeant asks. Karen flinches. I assumed. Here's the locksmith invoice, I say, dropping the file on the table. And the alarm permit. Sergeant sighs. Ma'am, please step outside for questioning. And Joel? I nod toward the footage. Already in custody, the sergeant says. Called in sick this morning. We've got him. Karen's face, for the first time, flickers, not rage, but fear. She thought her flunky would stay quiet. Nope. By noon, I'm at my lawyer's office, Carol Brandt, a former fraud prosecutor with the eyes of a hawk. She scans my evidence, and her smile grows wider with every page. This is organized criminal trespass, she says. They tried to take your house with forgeries. Let's bury them. By end of day, cease and desist letters are out. Formal complaint to the DA's office filed. The language is legal napalm, words like premeditated, fraudulent misrepresentation, and criminal conspiracy. I handle the forensics. The forgery's digital, cut and pasted. I even find the original doc it was stolen from, an old insurance form stored online, now in the hands of Karen Bates after she took over the HOA. Carol lights up. That's intent. We'll get a subpoena for their internal emails. When those emails land, jackpot, Karen tells her event coordinator, see attached. Signature useful for consent doc. Make it look clean. Smoking gun. But they're not done yet. County recorder's office calls me. A friend there, Evan, sounding nervous. Garrett, you need to come down. There's a zoning correction request on your property. HOA flag on it. My heart skips. They're trying to annex my beach access by quietly redrawing the boundary. Karen signed it 3 days before the break-in. If I hadn't caught it, the county would have let it slide after 30 days. Carol files to freeze the change and demands an audit. Turns out, I'm not alone. 3 other neighbors have similar corrections. One, a widow named Susan Burke, lost half her garden to the HOA. Another got surprise HOA fees despite never joining. This is a pattern, not a mistake. Twist in the tale. There's always a twist, right? I meet Susan. She's kind, nervous, clutching a stack of HOA threats. They said I'd joined. I never signed anything. Then they showed up and started ripping out my lavender. Her garden's half dead, now with a shared path the HOA claims is for community use. I take photos, document everything. This isn't just about me. It's predatory. Back home, I scan the footage again. Catch Karen whispering about a binder before the first break-in. I search the house and, find a laminated HOA binder tucked behind the books. Inside, floor plans, summit schedules, even a property transition plan listing my cottage as transferring to Shoreview Haven oversight. My name, no signature. They'd even projected rental income. I give it to Carol. She calls the state licensing board. Within hours, we connect the dots. A property investor, Henry Lehman, had applied for a short-term rental license for my address, based on a fake lease from Karen. Carol calls him up. You realize this is fraud? He withdraws the application immediately. The heat's on. News gets wind of the story. Hidden cameras, forged docs, HOA power play. It goes viral. People start calling, press, politicians, even a senator's office. The HOA holds an emergency meeting. Karen's under review. An anonymous envelope shows up in my mailbox. Her DMs with board members, plotting to get Garrett out. I mail them straight to the DA. Then things get weird. Car with no plates parked across the street. People skulking around my gate, trying to swap my not-for-rent sign for an HOA guest access placard. I catch Joel in the act, camera rolling. He bolts, but the footage is gold. Carol bundles it all for the press, and overnight the local news runs, homeowner battles rogue HOA. Hidden cameras reveal break-in and forgery plot. That's when things really start to unravel. Karen tries her last card, calls the cops on me, claims I'm unstable, armed, threatening HOA staff. 3 patrol cars show up. I walk out calm, hands open, show them the footage, the restraining order Carol filed against Karen, the deed to my house. The cops see through it. That night, the unmarked cruisers roll up to Karen's house. She gets escorted out, no cuffs, but she knows what's coming. Joel's already confessed. The evidence is overwhelming. Next day, the judge grants a full injunction. The HOA is barred from touching my property, talking to me, or filing anything in my name. That's not just a win. That's checkmate. But it doesn't end there. We find a master list, other homeowners targeted by the HOA. Elderly, absentee, unprotected titles. They were building a map, plotting their moves years in advance. I wasn't the first. But I'll be damned if I let myself be another tick mark on their ledger. The courtroom's packed for the final showdown. Karen across from me, looking like she still believes her own lies. Carol opens with the footage, the forged agreements, the fake notary stamp, the GPS data, the emails. Joel takes the stand, admits it all. Says Karen gave him the script, say Mason's unstable. He confesses everything. The verdict? Guilty. On all counts. Falsification, trespass, attempted theft, zoning fraud, conspiracy. Karen gets 10 years, Joel gets 2.5. The HOA goes under county supervision. I get damages, an apology, and the piece I'd almost forgotten. Bought the lot next door. Cameras, fences, plaque on the door. Not a member. Not for rent. HOA walk away. You've tried before. The paper runs my picture. The man who beat the HOA mafia. But I'm not after fame. I just wanted my home, my peace, and maybe, just maybe, to remind everyone, this stuff matters. So that's my story. You think it's just about a house? Nah, it's about power, trust, and standing up when someone tries to take what's yours with a smile and a clipboard. But here's the kicker. Was I right to go scorched earth? Or does fighting fire with fire just make the neighborhood burn brighter? Let me know what you think. Ever tangled with an HOA? Or maybe found yourself on the wrong side of a property line war? Where's the line between justice and revenge? Drop your thoughts below, because if there's one thing I learned, it's that justice isn't always polite, but sometimes it's exactly what a neighborhood needs.